Guess what? I am so excited because today we're going to talk about some joyful marketing. I love anything that adds joy to it because it feels like this sunshine and you're just like soaking up the warmth from it and you feel so good. Like you could just feel it in your bones, in your heart. And it just excites you and it's something that you are like just loving and looking forward to. So if you're already wondering how in the world do we achieve joyful marketing, great. I'm so glad you're here because that's what we're going to dive into. We're going to dive into like how we really make your brand promotion authentic and fun. So we're going to just explore some strategies today for infusing joy and authenticity into your marketing efforts. And one of the really cool things here is like this should really not be hard for you. I'll just go ahead and say that. Like this whole promoting and marketing to be truly joyful, it should not be hard for you. It should not be something that you're like, oh, I dread doing this. It should be something that really just you look forward to. And I think to get to that point, if you listen to like last week's episode on, the sneak peek that I did about the workbook, one of the things that I talked about was like the present. Like what things do you currently have at your, as your resources? What things are currently going on in your life? Like look at what things you currently love doing. Like, do you love to write out these beautiful emails and talk about stories? Do you love to have person-to-person conversations where you really get to know the other person? Do you love to be on video and to talk? Kind of like what I'm doing with this podcast. Do you love to just talk about all the expertise or knowledge or certain topics that really excite you? What is it that you look forward to doing that you really love to do? Even if it's if you're like a crafter or something and you really love making your product, I will tell you that you could actually use it to your advantage for marketing. Like if you really love the hands-on work you do in your business, record yourself, record yourself doing the things you love to do and like turn them into reels. Put them on your Instagram and your Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is that you use, and just add some pretty music and maybe like explain what it is that you're doing or what it is about that activity that brings you joy. Ta-da! You have a marketing strategy. So that's kind of what I'm getting to of really infusing your marketing strategies with something you love, with joy, because when it's something you love to do, it is a natural, fun, and authentic extension of who you are. It is a fun and authentic part of your brand. Like some of the things that I love to do, I love to write. I love to just like start typing out stories. I like to journal. So when I'm writing out my emails that go out once a week, I'm telling a story about maybe something that happened, something that I want to express, something that I'm currently learning, whatever it is. I have joy writing that out because as I'm writing it, I imagine me talking face to face with you. I imagine me like writing this email individually just to you, telling you about something that happened and what I learned from it because I know it's going to help you as well. So that to me is fun because it actually allows me to just sit in the quiet, listen to some music or whatever it is. And it's something that I look forward to doing. Same thing about this podcast. I love doing this podcast. I'm sitting at my kitchen table right now. I have my notebook beside me. I have my planner beside me. I've got my computer opened up where I've got my spreadsheet that shows me like, hey, here's my podcast, here's my topics. These are the things that I'm really looking forward to talking about. And I'm excited to just start diving deeper into, okay, what can I do to to help them understand how they can add fun and joy and energy into the way that they're marketing their business. Because one of the really cool things is the energy that you put behind your marketing will impact the results that you have. So, say if I came into doing this podcast and I had all my stuff and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't know what to talk about. I'm not really sure what to say. I don't feel the best. I'm so tired. Last night was awful." If I come in with that energy, you can already feel like I'm just draining this whole situation. Like I'm just sucking the life out of it because I'm not bringing good vibes. I'm not bringing this fun, more upbeat, more natural energy. I would be like kind of, let's see, I wouldn't be so magnetic and attractive. I would actually be repulsive at that point. Like, have you ever just been around people who they immediately start talking about like the negative things in their life or the negative things in their day, and you're just like, I really wish they could talk about something else. Like, I really could just use something good in my life right now. Like, their energy is kind of like a vampire. It's just sucking and draining mine. So we don't want your marketing to do that. We don't want your marketing to be something that you're forcing to happen, that you don't have good energy around because you're dreading it. You're not actually putting your whole heart and soul into it. You're not putting all your good vibes and energy into it. We don't want you to do that. We know that marketing is not going to work because that energy, that good energy, those good vibes are not there. They're not going to radiate from what it is that we're doing like we want it to. So that's the whole reason why it's necessary, I believe, for you to have fun, to be yourself, to have excitement and good energy and enthusiasm for the way that you're bringing awareness to your business. Because that is like that spark of light. It's like that warm feeling, and it's what people will gravitate to. Do you notice how if you have a couple of days back to back where it is cloudy, the sun's not really, coming through, it's dreary looking, you're just like, oh, I can't wait for the sun to come out. I think really unenergetic marketing is kind of like those cloudy days. Those days that look like it could rain at any point. Whereas like that enthusiastic marketing that has like these really good vibes, you're like, wow, it's so wonderful. It's so lovely. I just get such a good feeling about it. When that stuff comes out, it's like, oh, the sun finally after days of all this other stuff. So it needs to feel good for you first, because when it feels really good for you and you're excited about it, that's like the secret sauce to being successful with your marketing. It sounds weird. It's not all just the strategy of how you're marketing, like the what, what things you're doing. Like if you're checking off tasks of like, I scheduled this post, I wrote this email, blah, 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 like did all these things. But if you don't have that excitement and that good energy with it, you've almost kind of, I believe, kind of like wasted your time because you didn't put your very best effort into it. You didn't put your good energy, sending it out with love, sending it out with enthusiasm. You more or less just did it because you had to. I'm a mom of 3 kids, so I know when my kids are doing something just because they have to do it, because I told them to. And my goodness, like you could just see it in their body language that they're like, oh, okay, I'm doing this. They're dragging their feet. They're complaining. They're just like, you're just thinking, if you just quit the attitude there, the negative attitude, and just did it with a smile on your face, That would make everybody feel better. You know, I wish you would do it because you wanted to do it. The same thing if you go through a drive-through and the person taking your order is not really enthusiastic. They don't really care what it is that you get. They don't care that, you gave them you paid with cash and then with card and all that other stuff. It's like you can just kind of tell some that are just there just to get a paycheck. Like, I'm just here. I'm not putting my best effort into it at all. I don't want to be here. The whole attitude of your marketing is like is the true key, I feel, to being successful with it. When you have true integrity into your marketing, that you're doing things because you know the effect you want to have. You know that you want to put out this good energy because you want it to positively impact people. You're writing your emails because you're like, this could help somebody. This story may connect with them in a way that they'll see something in a new perspective and be like, wow, I've known about this before, but I'm seeing this in a whole new way. And it's reshaping like how I'm thinking about this. Or if part of your marketing is going to networking groups and you're in the networking group and you're just kind of sitting there with your face on your hand and you're like, halfway distracted and looking at other things and you're not fully present there to see what people I could get to know or what support others may need that I could help with. If you're not fully present, you're not fully there and you're not excited about it, the other people in that group are going to feel that. They're not really going to want to engage with you because they're like, they're not all there. They're not there with integrity. They're not there with an intention to bring positive energy. They're feeling those off vibes, and that's not something we want, because when we have those really good vibes, when we're present, when we're listening to things going on in a networking group, when we're engaging, when we're sharing things, when we're being just our normal or our natural positive self, and we're excited about it, we're finding something that's enjoyable about the experience, then that energy begins to attract people to us. We love being around positive, happy, and uplifting people. So, like, if that's not normal for you, you need to practice. You need to practice being upbeat or joyful or enthusiastic, like just enjoying the moment. Because I feel like if we're not enjoying the moment, if we're not enjoying what we're doing, why in the world are we doing it? I'm like, there's days I could go into work and be like, I really don't want to do any of this. And guess what? My work is going to be like awful. It will be half as good. It will be like doing the least amount possible. I won't have the let's see, the productivity that I may have if there's a day where I actually go into work and I'm like, I'm glad to be here. What can I do to make today great? How can I talk to people? How can I interact with coworkers? How can I do all this stuff in a way that not only impacts my day in a positive way, but also impacts the people that I'm working around? How can I help them have a really great experience today? That is joyful marketing. You you have to be the joyful person. Okay? You have to be filling yourself with that joy. You have to be bringing the joy to the experiences. Now, I know for myself, there are times when I'm not really that fond of having to get all the things prepared, get them all scheduled, go to this platform, schedule it here, go to that platform, schedule it there, make sure everything's in the appropriate place, everything, like the episodes have their show notes. They have the correct links. They do all this different stuff. It's like, yeah, it's a little tedious and time consuming. But I know that if I don't excitedly do it or look forward to the fact that, oh, hey, these are all good things and I really want to help people with this, then I'm not that I don't really care attitude is going to drain the effectiveness of what it is that I'm putting out there. So not only do you have to pick the things that you're excited to do, the things that you look forward to doing when it comes to marketing and finding a way to make it fun, and doing it in a way that's like not forced and doing something that's really unnatural for you. But you also have to think of there are tasks that may feel monotonous, that may feel just tedious. They may feel like, "Ugh, I wish I didn't have to do this part." But if you think of the overall, like, what attitude am I putting into this? That's going to affect the end result. So there's two parts. So we'll just kind of summarize this into two parts. To really infuse joy and authenticity into your marketing efforts so that you have like success with your marketing, you first have to feel that what you're doing is exciting and important to you. Second, the attitude that you have towards how you're marketing has to be in a positive state. That what you're doing, and it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter if, say, you worked really hard on the content for this post, if you put it out with good energy and it feels good to you, you feel successful that you did that, you talked about this specific topic and you put it out there for the world to see. If you feel good about it and you can walk away and think, ah, I did it, I'm done. Like, 'cause I just feel so good putting that out there. That's really all that matters. It doesn't matter how many people liked it in an hour after you put it up. Doesn't matter how many people commented on it. What matters is that it feels really good that you did it, because the more you practice it, the more you feel really good about what you're putting out into the world, that positive energy begins to gain traction. So if you're enjoying doing videos, maybe they're a live video. If you're enjoying doing those live videos, but the first couple times you do it, you have one viewer for like 5 seconds, you have no viewers, or you have 10 viewers, or you have 100 viewers, or however many, it matters that you show up in a way that, like, I like doing this. This is fun, because people gravitate towards others that are enjoying what they do. We don't gravitate to people that are like complaining and dreading what they do. We don't gravitate towards them. We gravitate towards the people that are just lit up about what they're doing. I mean, you could probably think about plenty of people that you already know, that you follow, that, you really like, that are celebrities, influencers, whoever they are. You probably more likely gravitate to them because they're excited about what they do. They love what they do. They have enthusiasm for what they do. You're not gravitating towards them because they're complaining about what they're doing. They're dreading it. They're not looking forward to it, or they just did it because they had to. You're not drawn to those people. So I'm saying, like, whether you're starting to see the results yet or not, your enthusiasm and your joy has to be there. Because as you're just getting started, it's going to take a while to gain that traction. But the more you keep showing up excited and just authentic, being yourself, enjoying what it is you're doing, having that good attitude, it will start to gain traction. If you've been doing that for a while and practicing that, then you could find out what are some different ways that I could try marketing myself. Maybe you've been doing videos for a long time. Now you're like, maybe I could try a podcast, or maybe I could try, putting a video course together. Like, you can find different ways to enhance and improve as you go along. But it's all about that attitude, showing up with integrity, meaning to do a good job, meaning to be in a good energy, and doing things with just an excellence. and a diligence. And sometimes that's just tiny little shifts that we make in what we're doing. But I encourage you to really think about the way that you can market and promote your brand in a joyful way is by doing what you love, enjoying the work, and having a good attitude. Just being positive, and that, just combining all that, is going to make the experience so much better, not only for you, but also for those that are seeing your brand, that are experiencing it from the outside. It's going to impact how they perceive and view your brand, which is in essence like the projection that your brand is. It's how others perceive it. If you want it to be perceived well, you got to show up really well. You got to show up really in good energy, and it will happen. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you soon in another episode. Go embrace your brand, embrace some joyful marketing.